Hey, Marcus, how's it going?
I'm good, Danny. How about you?
Doing well, doing well. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Marcus Gao. I'm from Shanghai, China, and right now I'm at the University of Chicago.
Wow, that's a fantastic school, and surely it wasn't easy to get there. Can you share us a little bit more about when you got serious about studying and then what motivated you?
Um, I think I got serious about studying, I think middle school. That's when I kind of realized because before middle school, I was like I like to just, have fun like as kids do. I played lots of basketball. That's where most of my time went. But I mean, my parents have always been really hard on my academics since I was little, but for me, like when I first realized that I need to start putting in work into my academics was in middle school because I looked to my sisters as examples. So my oldest sister, she went to NYU. My second oldest sister went to Andover and Harvey Mudd. So they're both very accomplished academically. So they've always been role models to me, and I saw how diligent they were with their academics and where that led them to. So looking up to them as a little brother, that's when I started really focusing on my work, doing extracurriculars, studying the SSAT, ACT, all that.
Yeah, hearing you talking about your two older sisters, who I also know quite well. I mentored both Martha
Yeah.
and Maggie. Can you share
Yep.
with me a little bit more about how Point Avenue, working together with you and your parents, helped you define, reach for, and achieve your success?
Well, I've worked with you since like you said, I was like 10, 11 years old. But Point Avenue specifically, because if I talk about how you helped me, I can go on for hours. But Point Avenue specifically, um, so Point Avenue came into my life when I needed desperate help with my application to Chicago. So I think it was around August because August when Daniel, not you, Danny, Daniel, he helped me with my application, and Point Avenue was really big help because at the time I was very how should I say this? I was conflicted in what I wanted to present in my application, and obviously like there's so many ways you can present yourself, and there's so much stress in like how do I present myself the best way? Like what do I say in this sentence? What do I say in this essay? But Daniel and Point Avenue, they were like the third party objective observer that found the best qualities in me and helped direct me to present myself in the best way. And I think that reflected itself in my application and my essays, and it did work because I'm sitting in the library of Chicago right now. So obviously, you and Point Avenue, all the staff there have so much experience in dealing with college applications. They see hundreds of kids every year, read thousands of applications, I'm sure. So that guidance is really like invaluable, and definitely helped me a lot, helped me save a lot of time and took a lot of stress off my mind when I was doing my application because I fully trusted you guys' judgment.
Thanks for sharing, Marcus. Let's go down a little bit memory lane. 10 years ago, flashback when we first met. I think it was around the time when I taught you life coaching and SSAT.
Yes.
Share with me a little bit more about the importance of mentorship and how it has influenced you in your life.
I think if I speak on like our relationship specifically, I think with mentorship, the most important thing is being a role model and having someone to look up to. Because as a kid, like you don't really know how to go through life, right? People can tell you like, oh, you should study hard, right? Oh, you should be disciplined. All those like those words, like you know the meaning, but you don't actually see it manifested in reality. But then you're my mentor back then, and obviously your life is just an inspiration to me. And looking at you as a role model helped kind of like it made those words such as discipline and hard work become a reality. Like I could see a physical example of what those values could do for someone. So in life coaching, um, you would. I remember we read a book about your late friend, and extracting the lessons from a real life person and having examples that I can like look back to for the values I want to instill in myself. That was really important. I think it's important for kids because like that's how we think. Like we think in examples and real life applications rather than just arbitrary words, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, that really does bring back good memories. For the audience listening in, that book is 20 years and 40 days, and it's dedicated by the mother of my late friend who passed away. He was killed in action in Iraq in combat. We actually talked about his life story and served as an inspiration for all of us. Yeah, so let's pivot a little bit more to your college application and, of course, your extracurricular activities, your character development, because you're someone who lives with integrity, good character, hard work, right? I know how much sweat you put into not only in the classroom, but on the basketball court and everything you do. So can you just share with us a little bit more about your application success and also a bit more about your profile?
Okay. So I say this a lot. My application, when compared to other kids, if you look at purely at accolades and achievements, it's not as impressive, right? Like some kids, they have like a national awards in like a math Olympiad, right? Or they went to an international competition and got first, second, or third place. My profile is not based on my accolades, but it just reflects my interest in who I am as a person. And like you said, basketball was such a big part of my life growing up. And I mean, I did use it to get into college because I was trying to get recruited, and I can get into that whole thing with Chicago later on, because basketball definitely helped me get into this school. But if you look at my application, it's not as impressive, but my interests align with my academics, with my extracurriculars, and it looks like I'm a person that pursued things that I was interested in and actually invested time that I was interested in, not for the sake of an accolade and not for the sake of an achievement, for the sake of like I actually enjoyed it. Like I'll give you an example. In high school I did this psychology club where I'd write weekly articles on different topics of psychology. I was really interested in it. It was reflected in my class choice of AP psychology. I think that my application communicates that to college admissions. You know, they can see that this is a kid that had interests and acted on them and did the best he could in those avenues.
Yeah, and I think going back to your character, humility is absolutely one part of it, and you're exhibiting that right now. Because if you actually do look at your profile, I believe you graduated #1 in your class, and your test scores also were like basically the highest that you can receive. So you know, I think you did have an excellent profile. But I understand your meaning about you didn't have like the international mathematics or physics Olympiad awards. And for the audience listening, you don't always have to receive the gold medal to get into great universities like Marcus has. What do you think best helped prepare you for college life? And what is college life like at UChicago?
Well, so college life, I think a good way to encapsulate is that you make your life. Like it's really dependent on how you structure your life. And I forgot the saying, but it's like, it depends on how you make of it. Like, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like if you really wanted to, you could just come into college and just go to class and that's it. You just go to class, go back to your room, do your work, you know? And yes, some people do that and they enjoy that, but there's so much more in college. Like college has so much more to offer. Like I think so I joined a fraternity when I first got on campus, and that was probably one of the best decisions I made. Like I didn't know anything about fraternities, but right now I'm sitting in school with a group of guys that are like my lifelong friends, and those guys are all very accomplished. And it's not just people in my class, but I'm close with second years, third years, seniors. These seniors and third years are about to be starting their careers, and you're building connections with people who are going to be in the industries that you want to work in. And other than that, like the value of having friends and the value of having friends that can help you it's just also just fun. There's also clubs that are directed towards people who are interested in tech, people who are interested in finance. You can basically, I strongly urge people to find their community and design their life in a way that really makes them feel fulfilled. Because if you're not proactive with it, there's a very high chance you could not enjoy your time here as well. You could be bored or whatever, but it really depends on your action and putting yourself out there. So I think it's for college life and getting prepared for college life is like being open to everything and putting yourself out there. Because the experience is really what you make of it.
Yeah, that's fantastic and great advice for students. You don't want to be a student who goes to college and just lives in your dorm room and lives in the classroom. Clearly, you've maximized the opportunities, built lasting friendships. Yeah, I would like to learn a little bit more about what skills or techniques do you think you developed in high school that is useful even now as a college student?
I think I can go over the basics like time management, discipline. I think one underrated one is definitely like soft skills and being able to talk to people. But like speaking on time management in college, it's a whole different beast of time management because like your schedule is completely based on what you want. You design your schedule, you design your classes. You have so much free time that sometimes you don't know what to do with it. Like actually depends on your classes. Like right now I'm taking like 4 classes that are pretty hard, so I do work most of the free time, right? But time management is definitely on a new level. No one's telling you to go work out. No one's telling you to do your work. No one's telling you when to eat. No one's telling you when to wake up. You have to, it's all on you to design your day, design your weekly schedule. So definitely keep that in mind when coming to college. It seems like you have a lot of time sometimes, but time goes by quick during the day. So try and get as much done as possible in the middle of the day. What other skills? What other skills? Efficiency with your time too. But there's so much more knowledge to learn. There's so many more techniques you can learn to optimize your studying. So if you're in high school right now, middle school, like definitely look into that. Like I know on TikTok or Instagram, there's a lot of posts about like intermittent breaks, how long to take your breaks between studying, how to maximize your attention span or focus. To Andover and also a Chinese international school. But Andover, we're more liberal with talking to adults and being proactive with talking to teachers about what we want, what grades, like what our grades are, like how to improve and everything. So I advise if you're in the latter, like I said, if you feel like your high school you're not as close to your teachers in high school right now, definitely try and work on that because in college, like you're sometimes in classes with like 200, 300 people. If you want help from your teacher, it's all on you to reach out to TAs. Because sometimes you can't even reach the professor. You have to talk to TAs first. So that goes back to soft skills, talking to people, being able to hold a conversation, all that.
Yeah, that's really great advice, Marcus. Can you share with us a little bit more about what your major is, what you're studying, and then can you explain to us the names of the 4 courses? You said that you're taking some high level. By the way, U Chicago, a lot of people say is where fun goes to die. It's a very academically rigorous environment.
Yes. I'm having a lot of fun right now, so I haven't felt that yet, but I'm only my first year, maybe second, third year, I'll feel the where fun goes to die motto. But right now I'm projected to double major in economics and philosophy. Economics because I think no matter what I do, it's good to have an understanding of money, the market, how things work in the world. And I probably will go into finance, kind of like we joke like, oh, you're gonna commit to the dark side, but like like a lot of people in Chicago kind of transition to finance. Because also Chicago's econ program is like second to none, right? I might as well take advantage of it. And I'm also very interested in it too. Didn't really have any philosophy. I've always been interested in philosophy, and I've always been curious about what college philosophy would be like because it's a much deeper level of it requires a much deeper level of academic thinking. You're sitting in a room with smart people from all over the globe. So at first I was kind of had some trepidation about wanting to do philosophy, but right now I'm taking an intro course to philosophy and I'm really enjoying it. And I realize I really enjoy college philosophy. So I'm definitely going to pursue that.
Can you, two final questions here for the audience to listen in on. Was it worth it? All the sacrifice, all the hard work. And then what's some final advice you have to students and parents listening in?
Was it worth it? Definitely. I tell this to people all the time. It's like, I'm so glad that my parents and my sisters pushed me when I was younger, because I definitely wasn't the one pushing myself when I was younger. Like, for example, like my mom forcing me to go to basketball practice, my mom forcing me to go to like some classes, my sisters challenging me to go to events and talk to people, my sisters like teaching me table manners, or like just like things that seem inconsequential and things that are hard in the moment that I definitely would have strayed away from myself if not for the urges of the people around me. So definitely it's worth it. I'm only the person I am today because of those experiences. And recently, I mean, like, you know, life goes up and down like this, right? This year for me has been very up and down, and I've just come to terms with the fact that like when things are hard and things are sad, like it's cliche, I know, but that's the biggest opportunity for growth. And I feel like I finally like accepted that, where like when things aren't going well or when things are hard, that's the biggest opportunity to change yourself and become better. So for any high schoolers, middle schoolers, like don't fear failure, like don't fear hard work, don't fear like doing hard things, because even if you fail, like you learn something from it. I know it's cliche, but it's definitely true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's cliche, because sometimes we need to hear it from people, and we need to embrace failure. We need to learn and bounce back from those opportunities. I just want to say thank you so much, Marcus, for making time. So really proud of you. Congrats on all your success. New Chicago is home for you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Take care, buddy.
All right, bye.